This is Inside with Outsiders. I'm Jeremy Asgari, and today we have Jordyn Taylor of 12 Months of Giving with us.
What's up?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We just spent a lot of time together.
Too much time together,
Too
Jeremy.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to delay this interview, but you're never in New York. So,
I'll be here all summer.
well, now that I know, let's reschedule this.
And goodbye.
And goodbye. End scene. All right. I know a lot about you, but I want to know more. I know you're from the West Coast.
Yes. Born and raised.
Where are you from?
From Southern California. I grew up in Riverside, California. You shouldn't know it, but if you do, I need to know why.
I know that because I dropped you off
You did
the
drop
other
me
day.
off.
And it's a beautiful suburb. And it was like, for me,
There's really beautiful parts of it.
I imagined like when I dropped you off at your place, I imagined being a kid, like riding my BMX through these hills. It reminded me of like E.T. Goonies style.
Yeah. It should also remind you of like Breaking Bad because it was based in Riverside.
What?
Supposedly before they ended up filming in New Mexico, which is also where I'm from, Albuquerque.
Right. Well, your mom?
My mom.
Did you spend time there, like living there or not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think from like 3 to 7 years old.
So you were born in L.A.?
Born in LA, moved out there, and then moved back to Southern California when I was in like second grade.
Because your mom's from Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your father from?
He's from LA, from Carson, California.
How'd they meet?
They met.
I feel like you told me this is an interesting story.
It is a good story because for years, like they had this ongoing like bit they would do where every single time we'd ask, they'd have a new story. They met at church. They met at the library. They met like all these different stories. They met at a nightclub.
Like my parents met in a nightclub.
It's a great place to meet someone.
In Tehran.
Yeah. They met at a nightclub in LA. And my dad and his best friend used to have this like game, I guess they would play, where they each would take turns and get the hottest chick in the club. Very confident men.
They take turns to like target the hottest chick and
so they wouldn't fight over
the
hottest
got it.
chick
Okay,
on that night.
understood, yeah.
So it was my Uncle Jeff and his best friend Uncle Jeff's turn to get the hottest chick. My mom was the hottest chick by far.
Mm-hmm.
She walks in and my dad was like,
shout out to Mama Braff.
"Nah, buddy, this one's mine."
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Mama Braff. He's really upset that you haven't added him.
She's
Instagram
added
yet.
me. She follows me.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She hasn't accepted my request, and she's liking.
She's a very private
stuff.
woman.
Hey, I mean, listen, you're following me. I want the please accept my follow request, please, Mama Braff, please.
So he was like, "Nah, back up. This one's mine."
Okay. And how did your uncle respond? He's like, he's never heard that, I'm assuming. So he's like, all right, fine. It's all yours.
Let it happen. And I'm so sorry I'm exposing all their stories on this right now. But it was, a one-night wonder.
What do you mean?
She went home with him.
The same night?
The same evening.
Wait,
the same evening.
When did they tell you the truth about what happened and tell you that she went home with him the first night?
They told me pretty early. Like, it was very obvious the whole thing was a joke.
Right.
The church, the whatever. So they told me pretty early. They've told me a little too much, that's for sure. They told me that she went home the first night with him, and then he said, I knew she was going to be my wife the next day when, again, this shit's wild, when she made me a tuna melt.
Did he
breakfast.
actually know she was going to be his wife?
Yeah.
He knew.
They got married like 4 months later.
What?
Because of me.
Wait, did she get pregnant that first night?
I don't think so, but like not
4
too
months
long
later,
after.
I mean, it's quite possible you're the product of what might have been a one-night
the most
stand.
beautiful night of their life. I know.
Yeah. Wait. You're the oldest one out of all your siblings?
I'm the ignored middle child.
Oh, wait. So there's no way because of you.
But
what are you talking about?
My
Your
older
story
brother,
doesn't make any
shut your
sense.
mouth. My older brother is my half brother, technically.
Oh, okay.
So
is
my
it
mom's my mom's son from a previous relationship.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it actually could have been because of you.
No, it definitely was because of me. I did the math later in life, and I was like, hang on.
Yeah.
You were pregnant when you guys got married.
Huh. Look at that. Well, my parents were too. Yeah.
Honestly, good for us.
Yeah.
Bringing people together.
Exactly.
I was a matchmaker even then.
Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, okay. I'm not down that path. So, all right.
Hold on. What you talking about?
See, Chris? Yeah. I introduced him to his best new guy friend.
Yes. What's his name again? Alex.
Alex
From Any Bag.
From Any Bag.
Amazing project that he's doing that we're going to collab with. But by the time this airs, we will have already collabed. Actually, it's such a great project. Let's talk about it really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any Bag. Yeah, they do these pretty incredible, sustainable tote bags.
Well, they do more than just tote bags.
They do, but that's like, those are the winners for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they use, I think, like 90 plastic bags that would have otherwise been in a landfill to create these bags. And they're amazing, and they're lifetime. So you can send them back in when they break or get dirty or whatever it is, and they'll fix it and send it back to you.
And a lot of these reusable products tend to not look great, and this is super cool. Like, he's actually making it something that people would want to reuse, and it's trendy. So, I mean, someone recognized your bag today, right?
I get so many compliments on it. So many compliments. So, and they have like different sizes and things, but the tote bag is
that's the one.
Gorgeous.
Okay. Well, let's go back to you. So you went from LA to Albuquerque, back to LA.
Yeah.
What was your time like in Albuquerque? And is that a place you recommend people visiting?
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful. Like growing up there, I felt like it was a lot more suburby for me in Albuquerque than it was in California. I went to, that was like, I rode the school bus. Like, it was beautiful. Our house was beautiful out there. Great schools. We went to the balloon fiesta every year. Have you ever been to the balloon fiesta?
No, I've heard of it though.
We should do an outsider trip there.
I wouldn't mind doing that. I just know it's like an overnight thing, right? It's
they do a big one in Jersey too.
It's not, Chris,
and
it
it's
is not
expensive.
the same.
I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying they do one in Jersey. Which
Does Jersey have breakfast burritos?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dang it. Does Jersey have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Jersey have crystal meth?
Yeah.
No, you got us.
No. Go to Long Island.
Oh yeah. Well, does Jersey have it?
Well, I'm sure it gets transported.
I'm
over
sure
there.
it does.
I'm gonna need you to pull up some Jersey balloon fiesta.
I thought you said Jersey crystal meth.
I'm gonna have you get some here quickly.
Give me a couple minutes.
It's beautiful. Great hikes there. Amazing restaurants. Really good people if you know where to find them.
If you know where to find them. You told me something interesting about New Mexico cooking, New Mexico Mexican food, right?
It's New Mexican food.
New Mexican food.
Very different than it's Mexican food and Native American food kind of.
And your
together.
mom is Spaniard and Native American?
Isleta Indian, but we can't really prove it because our church burned down, apparently.
What do you mean you can't prove it?
Like, we don't have any paperwork. I have it, like, if I did my Ancestry.com situation, so it shows I'm Native American through New Mexico, but it doesn't show, like, what tribe.
What's the percentage that it shows?
Sam, what did it show? My Native American. It was like 12%.
12%?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
My brother did 23andMe, my twin brother, so I basically got mine for free.
Oh, that's cheap. Well, does it work like that?
Yeah.
Are you guys identical?
No, but we're the same genetic line.
Oh, I thought you could like get like a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that.
Mean, maybe it could be like a point of a percentage off or whatever,
fine.
but
Fine. What were you surprised by?
Nothing, honestly. Everything was panned out as the way I thought it would be. It was mostly Persian, mostly around 50%. Then it was like 43% European, French, and then it was like 7% Nigerian, Ghanaian, like West African.
7% West African?
Yeah. From my
That's where your moves are from.
My moves?
Mm-hmm. Your dance moves.
My dance moves. They are nice. So yeah, New Mexican food.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's everything you would find in Mexican food, but the flavors are so different. So we use like New Mexico red chili pods for everything. You can get, and I think this is a New Mexican thing. So when you get like a burrito and you get it like smothered in chili, we do ours Christmas style.
What's that mean?
You get green chili on one side
And red on the
and
other?
red on the other.
Gotcha.
So good.
Did you grow up with this food?
Yeah.
Obviously in New Mexico, and then when you moved, that's your mom's background, right? So
that's my mom's background. So she that's her thing. I would say my dad's the cook in the family, but
So she's Spaniard and Native American from New Mexico. Your father is Filipino from LA. Is that right?
Yeah. So
100%?
No. I mean, there's a lot of different things in there, but mostly Filipino and Austrian.
Austrian, okay. Because people always ask you what your background is because you're ethnically ambiguous, right?
It's the greatest gift and the biggest curse as well.
Why is that? Why is it a curse at all? I think it's great because it's a conversation starter.
Sure.
Yeah.
The curse of it is that, like, I feel like because I have so many different cultures and none of them were super strong as far as like my upbringing, I don't feel tied to any one culture.
Well, I feel like that's a lot of people that are either immigrants or Americans in general, right?
Right.
I mean, you're the extreme case of what I call a third culture kid, right? So, and that's very basic. So if you're a person from, let's say you're French, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you live in the United States. When you're in the United States, you're French. When you're in France, you're American.
Right.
So what are you exactly?
Right.
You're this third culture kid, and obviously with globalization, there's more and more and more of that going to happen. So you're just advanced. You've already gotten into that mix, you know?
I do, though. I wish that I would have learned any of the languages from my family.
Which languages would you choose to learn if you had a choice?
I mean, Spanish, I feel like gets you so far in life. You can go
True,
to so many
but
places.
that's easy to learn. I mean, what's your problem?
I'm lazy. I'm lazy and I don't believe
it.
in myself. I need to just do it. I was just talking about it. Like, I need to learn.
Plus you're from the West Coast. It was obviously, there's...
And yeah, and Riverside's an hour, 2 hours from the border. Like,
is it? What, Tijuana?
it's like 2.5 hours from Tijuana.
I didn't realize that. So when you moved to LA from Albuquerque, was it kind of like sad for you? Did you like...
I was a small child.
You were 7, right?
Yeah, I didn't care.
Okay.
I was
Because I
living my
remember
best
leaving
life.
a school. I went to school in Manhattan until I was like 10 years old. I
Yeah.
went to United Nations school. And then being pulled out of that school and going to a school in Hoboken, New Jersey, which isn't that far, but still like leaving my friends was like, I was distraught. But I mean, I wasn't crying or anything, but I was like, fuck, like I'm missing all my friends.
Yeah, I mean, here's one thing that you definitely know about me, Jeremy. My memory is shit. So honestly, I do not remember the emotions
I don't remember
of
that about you.
7-year-old me. But I'm also someone that loves meeting new people. So it was probably one of those things where I was like, all right, cool, let's do this thing again.
So who was the first person you met in LA?
The most relevant person
Is who I'm kind of referring to.
Yes.
Yes.
Carissa Martin. Shout out to Address by Red. In my
Address
phone,
by
her
Red.
name is Barack Obama.
That's because
sorry.
that's hilarious. 'Cause you were texting, and there's a photo of Barack Obama. And it says Barack Obama, and you're texting. And I'm like, are you actually texting Barack? She's like, yeah. You made me read, and then all of a sudden I'm reading. I'm like, why is Barack texting about some?
But would you believe that I was texting Barack Obama?
I think you would have told me that. Like, you know who I was talking to? I was talking to D Nice. I ran into D Nice at a bar, and love that guy. He's a great guy. And we're talking, and he's telling me, like, he's showing me a text. He texts Barack Obama. They're friends. So I'm like, it's not that far of a stretch for me to imagine another friend of mine speaks it. But then when you showed me the text and it was talking about some girl's dating issues, I was like, there's no
He
way.
has daughters.
Yeah.
He needs my
and
advice.
for a second, you almost got me. I'm like, and then I read it. I'm like, absolutely not. And you're like, it's Carissa.
Yeah. So Carissa, my best friend of, I mean, however many years that was now.
And pretty much family at this point.
She's family. Yeah. And it'll be official probably in the next, year or two.
Well, explain why.
So Carissa, my best friend in 2nd grade, we wore matching like Hollister outfits to school every day.
Like purposefully?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
She wore the green, I wear the orange. Like, it was done deal.
Must have been hard to tell you apart.
Very much. We look very similar.
By the way, she's a very pale ginger, just in case you'll know.
Like, you know how many times, though, in our life, in our friendship, people have been like, you guys look alike. And I think they're referring to, like, our energy and, like, our vibe, maybe.
Yeah.
But we've heard it a lot. I know.
Shut up. What are you talking
Cue
about?
photo of Carissa. Yeah.
Cue photo
I
of
swear.
Carissa.
All right, so, send him the photo and I'll
Yes.
drop him the
Okay.
video.
I swear.
Yeah.
Like, people have actually said this
Are they
many times.
blind? She's like a different race. She's a
I
different.
know.
She's, yeah, whatever.
Do our energies feel the same to you? Or no?
Sometimes. I mean, you guys are like sisters, right?
We are. We've spent
yeah.
more time than, like, I feel like real sisters have spent together.
Yeah.
So anyways, we, once I moved to New York, so we're fast forwarding now.
Well, real quick, let's not fast forward just yet.
Well, do you want to know why she's going to be my family or no?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Forgot about that part.
So we'll come back.
Shout out to
We'll come
Driz.
back for this little fill-in. But She and I were living together, and my little cousin, who has lived with me
Can't believe you call
many
me your
times
little
before.
cousin.
He's my little cousin. Like, he came when we were living in Riverside he went to college in Riverside and lived with us.
On your mom's side, right?
On my mom's side, yeah. And yeah, like, I don't know. He was just my little cousin. And so I went on a trip, like a month-long trip to Spain, thinking nothing could ever in the world happen.
And he stayed behind, right?
Yeah. He was living in New York. Krista was staying at my place. And when I got home, they both had like this little cough.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you guys making out? Better not be making out. There's no way they're making out. There's no way.
In your mind, yeah.
And both of them were like, and I was like, are you guys making out?
Really? That's how you found out?
That's how I found out. That's how I found out.
Because they got really awkward about it? Is that what
they
happened?
got so awkward. It's been like six or 7 years now.
Okay, but how long had it been since when you found out that they were hooking up? How long were they hooking up? Just that weekend or a week?
I think just while I was gone. So like the month I was away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So she's gonna be family. Like they're engaged, right?
They're not engaged.
No. Okay.
No, but any day now, get the F on it, Driz. Come on.
No pressure, my guy.
Uh-huh.
All right. So when you moved to LA, what was growing up in LA like? Like, where you spend your whole childhood in Riverside?
So Riverside's like an hour and a half outside of LA. So for me, it was a blessing because it was like close enough to the crazy that I could get there when I wanted to, but far enough where it was still like not everything was based on the entertainment industry. No one was competing for jobs. Like, so it was nice. It was
What did
like
your
a nice
parents
balance.
do there?
My dad just recently retired from the LA City Fire Department.
From LA proper?
LA proper. He was like Skid Row, like in it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I met your dad when he was dropping you off for the Zion trip, and yeah, he's intimidating.
He is.
Yeah.
Until you get to know him.
It sounds like my dad. My dad would like make people feel really uncomfortable and enjoy making them feel uncomfortable. And then
he does
cool.
a little bit.
Oh.
I think he enjoys it a little bit, yeah.
I could tell. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I mean, kind of reminded me of my dad a little bit,
Okay.
the way he is. My dad will make you feel real uncomfortable. Sometimes I'm like, hey, stop. You know, he's a nice guy. And then he'll just like have this smirk and he knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. My dad is a little like socially awkward, so I think he does it as a defense mechanism for himself.
Oh, I didn't realize that. No, my dad's not that way. My dad's like a
Your dad's a
charming,
jokester.
Yeah.
Oh, no. My dad's like a little bit like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then once he's comfortable, he's like very much a teddy bear.
Right. Okay.
But he's like probably like, he's done some crazy shit in his life. Like he absolutely should be intimidating. You were this close from dying, Jeremy.
I was. I mean, I didn't want to shake his hand. I was peeing on the side of the road. And all of a sudden, you pop around, and I'm like, what's going on? And he went to shake my hand. Like, I can't shake your hand. I didn't pure all my hands yet. So I give him a pound. And I was like, oh, I hope I didn't disrespect him. I'm sorry.
No, he's fine. But his, like, yeah, everyone knows my house in Riverside was always open door policy. So I had many friends live with us if they needed a place to stay that night. Like, my parents are very big on, we'd rather you party here under our roof than us not know where you're at in the world. So everyone was over. We'd have like 20 people spend the night after our parties. So everyone loved Papa Braff and Mama Braff.
Yeah.
They're staples. They were many people's parents who didn't otherwise have like kind of that relationship. Mm-hmm.
So how young were you when you first started exploring like LA?
Young.
How old?
So I started doing pageants when I was like 14.
Photos, please.
Oh, I got you. I was
Photos.
amazing.
Wait, was that something that your mom might have done or your aunt or something like that?
No, not like these type of pageants. My aunt did I think my aunt did
Wait, do you have to wear them fake teeth? Don't they make the wear them giant fake teeth like
Well,
dentures?
mine was not like that crazy like toddlers and tiaras thing. Like that was wild.
I was kind of hoping it was.
It wasn't. You're gonna be really disappointed by how like adorable I look.
Should we talk about your aunt at all?
We can. I mean, my Auntie Jen, shout out Auntie Jen, the hottest thing in the world. She did her little Playboy run and she did like Budweiser pageants and stuff like that. Like she was in a bathing suit.
Was that her livelihood?
Modeling, yeah. Well, she came from music at one point. Like traveling band. And then she was a model. She was on like different shows here and there.
Was she a singer in the band?
She was a singer in the band, yeah.
Is that where, I know we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but that's where you get your singing?
Everyone in my family kind of always been like, we were raised around a lot of music. We were raised very like, there's a few family, we're not Hawaiian, but we were raised around a lot of Hawaiians. And I think that naturally a lot of music is just kind of introduced.
I mean,
at
you
a
can
young
pass
age.
for Hawaiian, right?
Thank you.
That's a compliment, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, but Hawaiians are a mix of everything, just like you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like music was just always introduced in that way. And then my dad was also in the band with her.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And I can't remember who. Oh, was it In Vogue that they would tour with?
Really? They were like officially touring with big bands like that?
Like across Southern California, I think.
Right. Okay.
But yeah.
So, all right. So you went to high school. How old were you when you started exploring LA? I don't think.
Well, so I started with pageants, and
Yeah.
then one of the pageants was like, "Hey, you need a talent to continue," and I was like, "Shit, all right." And I was like, "Well, I'll try to sing something."
Was
And
it
so
either between singing and juggling or something?
I wish I could juggle. I wish I could juggle. But then I won that shit.
Well, you won the singing
Yeah.
component, really?
Mhm. And then I was just really great at the pageants, so that continued for a while. And then the music thing kind of took over. This really terrible manager managed me for a bit. He was responsible for like a ton of different lawsuits with like Vanessa Hudgens and
Oh, for like sexual harassment or something?
no,
What?
but he's just terrible. Like he just took advantage of people and
Oh, bad deals.
bad deals.
Because I remember you saying your dad was your manager, and
Mhm.
I know your dad wouldn't let you just walk into that music industry blindly.
Like
Yeah.
I was never in any weird situations, thank God, because he really was, he set a precedence. Like if I walked in a room, Dad would meet them, and then I could be left alone with, people in the studio because they didn't want to fuck with that guy.
Right.
So I had it pretty good as far as never like getting myself in any sticky situations.
So from these pageants, when did you actually get into music?
Like 15, 16 years old. And then from there I started like releasing on MySpace.
Were you releasing on MySpace while in high school?
I graduated early. I graduated my sophomore year.
What?
Mm-hmm.
How do you graduate 2 years early in high school?
Because I'm a genius, Jeremy.
Are you? Did you like get a real degree?
I got the Chesby, so it's not like I can. Because what is it? If you get like that little baby diploma, you can't go to the university. I forget what it's called, but the Chesby allows me to still go to university in California.
It's like a GED or something?
Yeah, it's like the GED, but it's like a step above.
Why'd you get that?
Because the music industry has you working.
Oh, so you
From
already
midnight
had like a
to-
path doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, was it like a homeschool type of diploma, I guess? I'm just
No,
asking.
yeah. I did homeschooling for a bit, and then I just fully tested out. So after, I think I did homeschooling like the beginning of sophomore year, and then I graduated.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't shit on GEDs. I have a GED, and I graduated from college, okay?
Yeah,
I'm
Jeremy.
not shitting on them.
Throw something at him. These liquid deaths can really cause a little liquid death,
Exactly. So you had this promising music career, which is why you ended high school early.
Mm-hmm.
What was your life like having ended high school early? Did Carissa continue high school?
She did, yeah.
So you left 2 years before all your friends did.
Mm-hmm.
And
But I always had this weird FOMO.
yeah, I was going to ask you, like, you're missing out on a lot of these experiences that kids are sharing.
Yeah. And I had like a long-term high school boyfriend. So for me, I was like, in the next studio were like all the hottest of the hottest as far as other artists. And I was like, oh, I got to get home to my boyfriend. So I feel like in that moment was very much like feeling like I was missing out on whatever was happening in Riverside, California in those moments.
Right.
And now I'm like, oh God, think about everything you missed out on in these experiences. Maybe it saved me because I feel like I remain like pretty balanced and things
Yeah.
despite the industry I was in. But yeah, I mean, life could have looked very different for me had I not, been in love over here.
True. But I think it panned out the way it was supposed to.
I agree. Everything always does.
Yeah.
So I got popular on MySpace.
Let's talk about the whole because we had a lot of time to talk about your music career and all these things I didn't know about you and this time in Asia.
We should have just hooked up mics and cameras in the van.
No, we're doing it right now. This is better. I got my sidekick Bams over here. Who's
Chris,
like
you would have been very welcome in the van.
the guy who makes great commentary.
I try. But no, I don't go on. I literally went on one of these trips and that's it. I'm good.
You're done.
Yeah, I don't leave the studio. I have studio.
No,
work,
you're coming on one in October.
But that's because I could go home and I could go.
We're doing Puerto Rico with Fat Tire in October.
That's fun.
We haven't put it on any no mention of it just yet, but
you just mentioned it right now.
He's Puerto Rican.
Everyone, head over to Outsiders and get your tickets to Outsiders destination Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. So he's Puerto Rican and Irish, and
wow.
His father is from Puerto Rico.
Cue a photo of Chris. Thank you.
That's literally that's New York. New York. You can
a lot
Puerto
of
Rican, Irish, Puerto Rican,
Italian, Irish.
I love that.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Have you been to Ireland?
No, I have not.
Outsiders Ireland?
I would do that.
Head over to Outsiders.
So let's backtrack a little bit to like your music career. MySpace, that was the biggest thing. I was actually the official MySpace music concert promoter in New York City.
It's badass.
It was bad. Actually, I loved it because I was doing all these concerts. They were free for people, and it got my name out there. But it also like validated the other things I was doing.
Was MySpace not the best of all the social media outlets?
It was the first one I was ever on, and actually, I think this might have been the first community-driven website that I know of, at least, was Black Planet. And you never hear about it. It was a black-owned. You never heard of it?
Never in my life.
So Black Planet was like.
Was Beanie Man on it?
I don't think you can hear you guys have headphones in.
Okay.
Black Planet was same idea, but for black people to meet.
Uh-huh.
And
why were you on Black Planet?
Because it was the only
He was
platform.
also on Mi Gente.
I was also on Mi Gente. Mi Gente was after Black Planet, so it was the only
Is
platform.
it because you have 7% African in your
Exactly.
DNA?
No, but it wasn't just black people on there. It was meant for that because it was the first platform for community, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but from what I remember, it was. Everybody was on there.
Okay.
Then the Mi Gente came out, and that was for specifically Latinos, but everyone was on there as well. And then came MySpace, if I remember chronologically.
Okay.
Yeah.
MySpace was it for me.
MySpace was it? Yeah.
I was coding. I had things falling from my page.
Oh, I remember
Everyone's
doing all
computers
that
must have froze on my page. Like that shit was wild.
HTML code, yeah.
Oh yeah. But it was amazing. Because I don't know if you remember, like MySpace Music started, and they had like the charts for music. So they'd have like the sign charts and who's at the top of the charts and who's listening to what. And then
I believe my contact there may have started Rosalind. I can never say her last. Cobarius, something like that. She started MySpace Music.
Bad memory.
Yeah.
But probably met her.
Yeah. She's Filipino.
I definitely know her. She's my sister, my cousin. So I ended up putting a song on there about like this girl anthem about getting past a breakup and ending up, better despite this asshole leaving me. It was called Strong. Okay. Every girl who was on MySpace at the time, for the most part, like knows this song.
What was the genre? Pop?
It's pop.
Okay.
Yeah, all super poppy. And so it like just kind of snowballed and snowballed and snowballed. So I get a call from MySpace and they're like, "Hey, we want to bring you in." They had this like incubator.
Who put the song together in the first place? Were you signed to a deal first?
I wasn't. No, I was working with. His name was Mark Jackson, and I can't remember the other guy's name, but we called him Crazy Legs.
Okay.
And they did the song, and it's such a cute song.
Like, who facilitated this for you?
This would have been through that. I don't know, actually. I think this was through MySpace, like my own MySpace, but not officially through the platform.
Okay.
So it's me, my dad.
But studio time and all that? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, so they called us in and they were like, "Hey, we have this incubator program for artists, but you've kind of already did that." We'd already racked up I think at least 1.5 million plays on these songs.
Wow.
Yeah. And on the unsigned charts, it was always like me, Tila Tequila.
Tila Tequila. I didn't realize she was a musician.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know. I just thought she was known for
boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think now she's like according to her, like the second coming of Christ or something.
Was she born again?
Yeah. No, she is the second coming of Christ. Like it is her.
You know what?
Or like she's
Enough tequila and anyone becomes the second coming of
true.
Christ.
That's true. Hey, she utilized that, and I mean that became a show.
That's right.
She became a brand. But yeah, so they brought us in, and essentially they were like, you know, you've already sort of done the work we would do for you, so we're just gonna send you in the elevator up to Interscope. And we're like, okay. And I'm so naive to the industry at this point in general.
Yeah.
I mean, even today. And they're like, yeah, we're going to send you to Jimmy Iovine's office. Actually, no, sorry. We're not there yet. But yes, eventually it got there. I had spent the previous summer, and this again happened through Myspace, living at Ludacris's house in College Park in Atlanta.
With your dad?
With my dad.
Yeah.
Who had to sleep in the movie theater because he snores so loud.
Really?
Yeah.
But real quick, is my mic good? I touched the wire.
No, you're fine.
All right, cool. Just making sure we have to redo this whole episode.
Could you imagine?
It's happened.
Oh.
Those were the first episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
We learned our lesson. So I was living there recording like a little EP with a producer out there, and like loved the experience and had it in my mind, I will be signing to DTP. I don't want anything else. Like they believe in me. It's Ludacris. So I had like this whole of like celebrity coming from him. And so we went into this meeting like, I don't care who Jimmy Iovine is. Whoever this Jimmy Iovine is, I already have my loyalty to Ludacris and Shaka. Like that's where I want to be.
Forget Stevie Nicks or anyone else, but yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
And so we go in, and he's having a meeting with another producer. His name's Mad Scientist, who I end up working quite a bit with, and like 2 other people. And me and my dad are just sitting there while he acknowledges and talks to everyone. And I'm texting my dad, like, this is a waste of time. Why are we here? I feel disloyal, like whatever it is. And then he looks at me, and he's wearing his like little blue glasses, little hat, and he's like, just so Jimmy Iovine. And he's like, well, what do you have? And I was like, okay. So we play a couple things, and he's like, okay, what is it going to take for you to sign today? Like, I don't want you to leave without signing. And we were like, no. Like that, it can't happen that way. Like we already have something set up. And he was like, we'll just have Luda like EP, the album, like whatever it takes. Like, let's get it done. And we're like, we have to think about it and get back to you. So we leave, walk into the hallway, and a friend of ours who was with us, who started the meeting, was like, you are an idiot if you don't say yes to this today. Like you are an absolute idiot. And so we kind of did our research a little bit. And we're like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
He is legendary. So I ended up signing with Interscope. And unfortunately, this was like during a time when they were going through their switch from like analog to digital. Everyone was illegally downloading everything. We talked about our LimeWire adventures.
Yeah.
And so it became a really cool year. Like I worked with like amazing people who I look up to. But I probably went through like 8 or 9 different A&Rs, so nothing really sounded the same. And it was clear they weren't really going to release anything. Mm-hmm. They released like one song that's kind of just like a throwaway song. You could still find it. You know those like little jukeboxes they put in and at bars? You can still find it on there. I don't think any of that money goes towards me, so like whatever if you play it.
Wait, did you get any royalties from any music?
No.
Nothing?
Not at this point, no.
Okay.
So then I ended up doing that for like a year and a half, and then it was clear nothing really was going to happen, but we had established such a cool relationship with Jimmy, and I'm still really good friends with his son, Jamie, who became a DJ later. And so we kind of just like asked out of the deal. My dad basically was like, shit her, get off the pot. She's not getting any younger. And he let us out of the deal, paid a back end, which is like unheard of. And at that point I was like, I'm done with music. Like I'm cool. I don't need to do this anymore. It's not really like, it's fun, but like I'd rather just do normal shit.
So what did you do next?
Well, then we got hit up because now MySpace is kind of done. Yeah. So now we're on Facebook, and we get a message from these Japanese guys, this distribution company out of Japan, that are like, hey, we just want to distribute like whatever you have. Yeah. Whatever's like free and clear. let us take it off your hands and just put it into whatever we're doing here. I'm like, okay, maybe. They're like, well, we'll fly you out for free. Come to Japan. Like, we'll fly you and your family out to Tokyo. And my brother's obsessed with everything Japanese. So I was like, free trip for Mikey. Like, let's do this. So we went, and it was kind of like a deal I couldn't refuse. And Japan was so cool.
Japan's awesome. I've been there 4 times.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to go on one of those trips.
Let's do it again.
Yeah.
I think I want to go on one of those trips too.
Have you been?
Wow, now he wants to go on another trip. This guy.
Wow,
Now.
Mr. I don't leave the studio.
I want to go to
I
Kyoto.
can take pictures, so that's why.
We'll bring the studio with you. So I did that for 3 years, back and forth between Tokyo and LA. And then it got to a point I like charted a couple times with music out there. And it kind of felt like I was like standing at the edge of a cliff where I could jump into Japanese like stardom out there. And I just, that wasn't it for me. I wasn't connecting with people out there. I was missing like romantic connection. I missed my friends. And so I kind of made the choice, like, it's still not going to kill anyone for me to leave now. But if I keep doing this and then I back out, now everyone has risked everything and given up so much for this dream of mine for me to just like throw it away. So at that point, it felt like it was like, all right, let's hang this up. I need like a career sorbet. Let's go home, palate cleanse, and figure it out. That's what I did.
And your next step was, I think I remember you saying this in the van ride to Zion, but wasn't it like you toured with like auto companies?
Yeah, I did auto shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was like a little bit of I started doing auto shows, and that afforded me the ability to like rack up cash, meet a ton of people, travel domestically, and now I can probably say I have like a couch to sleep on in any state, any major city, which is nice. So
when you racked up this cash, kind of got your palate cleansed. When did you figure out your next step, and what was that next step?
So I met someone and moved to New York. And it got to the point where I was like super in love, and I didn't want to travel anymore. I wanted to like be in the city. I also loved being in New York, and it was taking me away from New York in like the best times.
Taking you away from New York?
Yeah.
To travel, To
travel. And so I was like, what can I do that I love out here where I can just be in the city permanently? So my 2 options, my ex at the time worked in late night TV. And I was like, this seems cool. And my biggest asset still today is who I know. Like my black book is pretty impressive. So I was like,
I got to say, I'm going to chime in really quickly. The Zion trip, at the end of the trip last year we just went, grabbed some food. I took them to a venue they all wanted to go to, but it wasn't anything formal. This year, we're on the ride back, and all of a sudden, we've got a complimentary dinner at Jean-Georges for 20 people, plus a table in the club.
Yes, we did.
And people I know, but I don't really know them like that, where I've been out of the nightlife industry for years, and I don't think I would ever be able to pull that off.
I know our other friend was like, "How 20? Are you sure it's comped?" And I was like, "Yeah, bro."
Yeah, it was amazing. And her black book, like mine's pretty damn good. I have to say, I've got a great black book. Yours is impressive. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I also like hold it very close to me. Like I don't. I'm rarely trying to sell any of my connections on anything. And I try to bring connections between those people as often as possible. So I try to make it beneficial to the people in my circles so that when my ask comes, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
You know, Jordyn wants a table for 22.
So you've built this great Rolodex or black book. What did you do for next step?
So I wanted to, my initial goal was to become a guest booker for late night TV. So my ex had connections in that industry, and so I had a couple meetings, and then I realized that as glamorous as the job kind of sounds, it's still me in an office beyond 9 to 5 hours with fluorescent lighting, which I'm extremely allergic to. And so I met with the Colbert Show, and I was like, I don't think it's for me. But simultaneously, I had been finding apartments for everyone. I had found an apartment for my ex. I'd found an apartment for myself. I'd found an apartment for different friends. And I was like, why am I not capitalizing on this? Because I enjoy this and I'm very good at this. So I got my real estate license, and my first deal, thankfully, was my ex's spot. And he, again, was in the entertainment industry. So it was a nice, I think it was like 10.5 million or something like that. So it kind of skyrocketed me in, everyone in New York starts as a rental agent, and then you do like starter apartments. Yeah. But I was like,
yeah, you skipped a whole step.
Yeah, I went straight to luxury.
And first off, not only that, but people don't get sales of that caliber. Some people never get it their whole careers. And that was your first sale.
Yeah, and it set the precedence for me to be like, I mean, it's always been this way with me. I like to work smarter, not harder. What is the least amount of work I can do for the biggest payout? And you would think everyone would think that way, or I would think everyone would think that way, but people love to work. I would rephrase that.
I don't think you do the least amount of work. What's the most efficient amount of work?
Sure.
Because you're a hard worker and you do a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's a difference. You make it, the way you worded it sounds lazy, and you're not lazy. I just want to make sure that's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't seem like that. I mean,
I'm paying you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do not live to work. I work to live. Like I'm, as you know, like I'm traveling, I'm eating what I want. I don't know. Like if I had, someone asked me recently, if you had all the money in the world, would you still work? I was like, see, you're one of those.
No, I would work, but I'd find purpose. It wouldn't have to be work, but I'd need purpose.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs purpose. So I mean, 100% like philanthropy for sure.
Yeah.
Which you're doing.
For sure. And that would never go anywhere, but I would be I just immediately pictured myself on a beach with a cocktail.
I mean, the beach gets old for me. Like I would do the beach, but I would also I'm also the type that wants to go to the jungle and do an adventure,
Well, yeah.
That sort of stuff.
I think you and I, our idea of work, we've really made it work for us.
For sure. I mean, everything I've done has always been something I'm passionate about.
Absolutely.
Before that was entertainment and nightlife, and I loved it at the time. And then I love this. I don't think I can achieve success or work hard for something I don't love doing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, now I get to work with my best friend in the real estate.
Who got into real estate first? You did, or she?
I did, but she always had the intention of getting into it. Her parents were involved in real estate, so it was always on her radar. But I definitely convinced her to jump on board.
And your partners are a great team too.
Oh, I wouldn't still be doing real estate if I wasn't linked up with her. We're so different in the way that we work. Like I said, so in that $1 billion question, she's still working. She's building an empire with her funds. And that's how we kind of work together. She wakes up in the morning and she's typing away at 7 a.m.
People don't realize that. People end up partnering with somebody who is the same kind of worker, and that's the worst idea. You got to find somebody. Like for me, I think I'm more of a similar worker to you in that sense, where I can still do the back end stuff. But I will love, I do have that great relationship with our director of partnerships, Darshan, where I get him, I'm like feeding it to him.
Exactly.
And we turn him over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to figure that out though, because and we built up a ton of resentment throughout our relationship getting to that.
It's funny that you say that, because I had a project during the pandemic. A friend of mine reached out to me about this idea. She had designed these N95 masks that were unique and great product. But she was like, I don't want you running around house. You should be in the office sitting there. I was like, what am I going to do in the office the whole day? My job is I brought tons of potential purchasers to the table. I used a resource of mine and got a spreadsheet full of potential retailers.
Right.
Doesn't mean I'm sitting behind a desk, but why do you want me to do the same thing you're doing? What's the point?
Right.
And it's sad that, I'm glad that venture ended quickly. We realized that we're not going to work together.
Right.
But I'm glad you're so friends with her, and you both realize your strengths, and what you're about to say is play to your strengths.
Yeah, we did. But it took time. It took time, not because she expected it out of me or I expected certain things out of her, but because we felt guilt for not bringing the same things to the table.
Understandable.
Yeah. And so once we finally, What an
It's my
amateur.
gratitude alarm. It goes off
What?
when my phone
Should
is
we
on
go?
silent.
What are you grateful for
Ooh, today?
right now?
Right now, I'm grateful for Chris because this is our 40-something episode. And there's
47th?
47th, and there's
Wow.
no way I could have 47th. We filmed. We might put it out as an earlier,
Yeah.
but there's no way we would have done any of this. Chris built this table. Chris put all this together. Chris built
Chris.
this. I'm grateful for Chris.
I get bored.
And what's funny is like he likes hanging out with people doing these things, but he doesn't realize he's an amazing creative.
I love that.
And I don't think he gives himself enough credit.
Flowers, Chris.
Well, like I was listening, I have a lot of, I got a lot of people I look up to, and I try to be with them. His twin brother especially is paintings
know.
and stuff. So I
So
got like,
talented.
But what doesn't realize like we look up to him for doing this
there's
shit
a bar
too.
that I gotta,
What?
climb to.
I look up to what he's doing. Like
Oh,
this
yeah.
is crazy. Not just this set. I know we're going off on a tangent, but I feel like giving more
That's fine. I like
flowers.
tangents.
This whole studio is a tattoo studio, photography studio, videography studio. This is all his brainchild. Everything about it has
That's
been his
awesome.
idea. This place is, I walk in here and I feel more creative. This place is amazing.
How long have you been here, Chris?
Me and Manny, we moved in 2019, October.
Okay,
So
nice.
right before COVID hit. we
Thank
moved
God.
in. Yeah.
Yeah. So hey, that's what I'm grateful for. What about you? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for the weather we had today.
I was telling you, it's gonna be more beautiful tomorrow. I think it's gonna be almost 80 tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I leave back to LA, and so I'm
You leave
gonna
tomorrow?
miss. I haven't booked my flight yet, but I have to.
Tomorrow night?
I don't know. Not tomorrow. I think either Thursday or Friday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Anyway, so we had to kind of navigate through a really rough time of like, I felt guilty for not being up at the ass crack of dawn sending emails, and she felt guilty not coming out with me at night because I am the people person.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't drain me to go out and entertain or go out and meet new people, and it actually drains her. She's amazing at it. But she goes home and she's like done for like, even weeks, I would say, before she's ready to like, all right, cool. Her cup is filled again.
I didn't realize that about her because she could be.
You would never
is
know,
so good.
right?
Yeah.
Because she is really good. And she's like, yeah, no, she's amazing with people, but it's just, it doesn't fill her the way it fills me.
Right.
And so once we kind of learned that about each other, I think now it's like, God, it's such a nice dynamic we have. And it's powerful because we only have to tap into the thing we enjoy.
I agree, and that's a formula for success. Anthony Martini is the guy we had on the show before, successful music entrepreneur. And I remember the record label he sold, right before he sold it, I was in his office hanging out with him, and I met his partner. And basically, Anthony does what we do, and his partner, I had to do a little bit of all because I don't have someone that can do everything yet. I'm building it, but this is what we do, bringing the people in, facilitating the deals, and his partner was doing like the back end admin work.
Yeah.
And he sold his company for over $20 million.
It's amazing.
Yeah, but you need those partnerships.
Yeah, for sure. Chris is the same. You were saying like your guy, like you just feed him what's on your mind, and he turns it into like a real thing. That's what Chris does with me.
Yeah, Darshan does that. I'll get a call from a brand and I'll start the conversation. I know what to say, but when it comes down to breaking it down, like I can do that. I don't have the bandwidth, but he does it better than I can.
Right.
So shout out to Darshan. I'm grateful for you too.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, what's cool, the best part about it is that once we figured it out, work became us hanging out. So it's like we don't have an office because we are just like in pajamas on the couch, like
really
hanging out. And then, but we have such good ideas. And I think we approach real estate and then approach the nonprofit in a way that's like super creative. So we do it a lot differently.
Let's talk about the nonprofit. What made you start the nonprofit? And then I think it's amazing that you're kind of a nonprofit that helps nonprofits.
Right.
So how did you get into it? What inspired you?
It was mid-COVID, and I feel like there was a lot going on as far as BLM and, the political climate of things. And I was doing my part and doing the reposting and trying to like learn as much as I could. And it got to a point where I was like, I feel like there's so much more I could be doing than pressing a repost button.
Agree. And I felt the same way during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And instead of just reposting and and
It's
hashtagging.
great. It's important.
I decided to do a bike ride. I created a loop around all the boroughs, except for maybe Staten Island, all the boroughs. And we
Wow.
supported every single black-owned business
That's
that we got in contact with that we could
Yeah.
support. And it became this loop, and it got promoted by like Justice for George, NYC, got
That's
promoted, all these people. And it actually got like a few hundred people riding that day. The map that we created was being viewed for weeks later, and I
That's
think it
so
got over
awesome.
like 40,000 views. This route we created.
Views on what?
Google My Maps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can see how many people like used your map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, who was the map created by? Was it Joey GPS?
No. Who created the map?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, okay.
Joey GPS.
What's Joey GPS?
Joey Hendricks. Yeah.
Who's that?
He's one of our cyclists. He's like this amazing character. He was one of the first few people we interviewed. Joey Bag of Donuts, Joey Hendricks. He's just this like dude from uptown. Like he's the definition of an NYC uptown. He's got this beautiful beard. He looks more Middle Eastern than I do. I don't look Middle Eastern. He does. We talk about like he's Puerto Rican. I look Puerto Rican. He looks Middle Eastern. So
Hilarious.
it's funny. He's a good dude. He's like the bike guy. But no, I created that map. So 12 months of giving. I love that you said that because I felt like, reposting whatever. I want to do something like actionable,
Right.
something that I would actually see.
But it was
a
tough,
change.
right? It was tough because we're not allowed to be in spaces with each other. We're not allowed to like congregate in large groups.
Which is why for us,
The bike ride made
biking
sense.
was perfect.
And we were like, so our first nonprofit was Bare Truth. So they work to feed the homeless community in Skid Row.
Okay.
And so for me, it was like, look, we're going to be around a bunch of people. Yes, it's outside. And yes, we're going to do our best to make sure we're masked up and gloved up. But the pandemic didn't stop people from being hungry. So
It made it worse, actually.
yeah. So I'm like, we can, whoever is comfortable enough, and people were itching at this point to just do something.
Yep.
Both, to give back, but also just to physically get out of the house and be around community.
Which is what we did during the pandemic when everything shut down. We did free bike rides every Saturday.
Exactly.
Free.
People
Yeah.
wanted to feel a part of something during that time. And
I did it not just because I wanted to help the community, for my personal needs.
selfishly, me too.
I needed to see
100%.
people. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that was our first one. And then, I don't think we had a name at the time. Maybe we did. But I got all my girlfriends together. No one's working really. So
Yeah.
everyone had all the time in the world. And it was really nice to see my people in a different light and just see how epic it was to see them like fill these roles, but also to see like what they care about. And it sucks. Like I know a lot of friend groups probably do, but we didn't really talk about a lot of that stuff. And I knew once I started researching a lot of nonprofits. Actually, the one that kind of fueled taking it to different genres of charity was Be the Match. So they work with like blood diseases, sickle cell, and they had posted an ad, and it was this like 7-year-old kid. I think his name was like Thor, I think was his name.
Okay.
The cutest kid ever. And he's kind of talking us through this like pain moment he's having with sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
I was ugly crying snot 7 a.m. Like, how do I not know about this? They're the biggest, one of the biggest, what is it? You send in your swab and they just kind of keep everything there. It's like their
Labs or whatever.
database, I guess.
Okay.
They're like the biggest database for like the blood disease DNA samples. And so they're huge. And I don't know about them. So I'm like, I'm pretty connected. I guarantee none of my sphere knows who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had hooked up with them and we got them planned out for a month down later in the year. And then we just kind of filled in the spots. We wanted to make sure we were touching the homeless community in a couple different ways. We made sure they were fed. And then there was another group out of San Francisco that made sure they got connected with their friends and family who maybe they've been estranged from for however long. Breast cancer, blood cancer. We were kind of all over the place.
So you just worked with all these different charities from the get-go like that?
From the get-go. I knew that, again, selfishly, my goal was to learn about all of these causes and all of the incredible people who are already doing super meaningful and important things to remedy, you know, what's going on in these different communities. And so it was shining a light using my platform, you know, as small and mighty as it is. It's not the biggest, it's not the smallest, but I was able to kind of point people and spotlight these really dope initiatives that were already happening. And yeah, it became like a bit of an addiction during that time, for sure.
I mean, again, it gave you purpose.
It did.
You're talking about like what we would do with $1 million, multi-million dollars is
my nonprofit would be the bomb.
Yeah. I actually met somebody who works with a charity organization in Chicago for inner city youth, predominantly Puerto Rican youth, and helping them with cool like music and food things. I'll have to introduce you.
Yes,
but
please.
so now your your focus is real estate and 12 months of giving, and obviously you're helping
And
us
outsiders, of course.
Outsiders.
Head over to outsiders.com. And
That's not even the website.
Oh.
Oh my God.
what is it? Join Outsiders.
Yes.
Head over to joinoutsiders.com. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I know the website.
So those are your focuses. What's your? Let's get into more of these questions. What is your goal and dream in life right now?
In life,
Well, I mean, basically, actually, let's say currently.
my goal.
Your current goal in life.
If we take it very micro, my goal right now is to sell my childhood home, my parents' home in Riverside, so that I can figure out where I'm going to live. I don't know if I'm going to stay in LA. I don't know if I'm going to move back to New York.
Or maybe you can have a place.
Wait, you still live with your parents?
I moved back during the pandemic.
She's
That felt very judgy, Chris.
I know.
I was judging. I'm sorry.
Wow.
this is. She's the agent representing the sale for her parents' house.
Yeah, and actually my parents moved to Texas, so I lived in my childhood home alone.
Oh, okay.
You were solo or by yourself?
Not during the pandemic. Once they moved probably 2.5 years ago now.
Okay.
Just outside of Austin. They followed the grandkids.
Yeah.
So yeah, figure out where I'm gonna live. I'm in love.
I think he's got his
What a
earphones in.
No, he can hear you. He's looking.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm kind of navigating that. I haven't been in a relationship in 4.5 years. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess.
So it's kind of exciting because you don't necessarily have an exact idea of what you want to do or where you're
I
going.
never have though. I've
You
always
mentioned
lived
that,
my
and that
life in a way. Yeah.
But you always seem to be on your feet. Not necessarily. I don't want to say land on your feet because you don't fall.
No, I don't like to box myself into something because almost every aspect of my life has been like a chance meeting or just saying yes to a random opportunity or whatever it may be. Like it's never been, here's my goal and here are all the steps I'm going to take to get there.
Right.
It's been like, say yes to opportunity and see where it goes.
That's a different approach. I mean, for me, with outsiders,
It wouldn't work for everyone.
No.
And once I have my thing, like, so with real estate, like there are goals and plans and preparations there, but as far as like, where do you see, I've never been able to answer the, where do you see yourself in 5 years question ever.
Where do you
in my
see
life.
yourself? Would you be able to answer, where do you see yourself in 25 years or 20 years? Where would you like to see yourself is maybe a better question.
Happy, like, and however that looks in 25 years. I mean, I would imagine at this point I have children, I'm married, I'm like, have set up home somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris and I probably still are running our real estate business. 12 months of giving is flourishing, but I would hope there's some new things as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what they are, and I'm excited to figure it
that's something
out.
to remind yourself. I know I remind myself of this, and I saw a post about it recently, but every opportunity you have presented to yourself currently is definitely not the last of the opportunities presenting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it feels that way.
Yeah.
And you feel stuck and feel, maybe, I don't know if you do. I do on occasion. I remind myself, what am I doing? Like, I can get a phone call. Like, we got a phone call during the pandemic when the weather started getting cold again. And we were doing these free bike rides. Like, great, we're going to just close up shop.
Oh, right.
And Volvo called us. And all of a sudden, now we're operating full steam ahead.
Right.
So I always keep in the back of my mind, actually for a while there, every night I'd go to sleep like, okay, wonder what opportunity present itself tomorrow.
I love that way of thinking.
Yeah, so do I. I prefer it. But
Yeah.
I have to remind myself that that's the approach to take sometimes.
Right.
Because it's easy to be like,
And it probably is smart to have a balance of the two. I just definitely lean more on like fart in the wind.
Yeah.
Fly by the seat of my pants.
Shout out to Georgia.
Are you gonna give the people listening a little
100%. Okay.
Ah,
So
Georgia, my
Georgia
darling.
is my best friend. I love Georgia. she was. I was hanging out with her,
Uh-huh.
and we're on this van, and she looks me in the eye, and
Dead in
she's
the
like
eye.
staring me in my soul, like
Stare
staring
into
in
the
my
camera.
soul.
Show them how.
She's like this, and I'm wondering what she's looking at me like that. All of a sudden, she stares at me, and I hear her rip a fart, rip one, staring at my soul. I was like, why'd you do that?
Put the mic back next to your face.
Do you think she did it on purpose?
Where she's looking at me, 100%. She comes out of the bathroom sometimes and is like, you gotta check this out. I'm like, I don't want to see
Oh, for the love of Jesus.
She's like, no, it's a figure 8. I'm like, I'm proud
It's
of
a
you.
figure eight.
So I'm good though. I've never seen Chris literally go to his hands and knees laughing. He just did that.
I love Georgia. What a character.
Amazing. Anyway, that's a great way to live your life. I actually commend it because you do seem to have the balance. It's not like you're just like farting away and see what happens to me tomorrow and I'm just going to go with it. You don't float through life. You have a plan.
But I think that's because of the people I've placed around me that keep me grounded and keep me like hold me accountable and
you're fortunate to have that,
Very.
to be able to live that way and
Absolutely.
then reap. And everyone reaps the rewards because you're so generous.
Well, thank you.
I'll be the first to say it.
Mhm.
All right.
It's the give, get method, Jay.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, you give, and you may not, like, I give to Jeremy. Jeremy may not give back to me, but Chris will give to me, like, a few months down the road.
Right.
Give, get. It always works.
Yeah, well, it's always the approach.
That's how I kind of live. I just keep giving and giving, and then eventually somebody's gonna give.
It
back
always
to me.
does.
Yeah,
Some might give him a nice pair of sneakers. You know, Daddy takes care of him.
he does.
He does. Thank you, Daddy.
I think I think you maybe answered this question, but let's ask it. What do you do for fun?
What don't I do for fun? Travel.
much.
I mean, like, I spend my money to go where I want and eat what I
And what
want.
kind of travel do you like to do?
I used to be the person that you can only get me to travel to a beautiful climate and a beach.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people would do who aren't very well versed in traveling because they think if you travel anywhere, it has to be a beach.
Right.
But you've changed that, right?
I have. I did. I mean, my goal was 30 countries before 30. I'm now 32. I think I'm at 37 or 38 countries.
I think I might be at
How dare
39
you?
or 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a
But
one-upper, huh?
I need to get I'm trying to match my age. You surpassed your age.
Oh, okay. You're right. So I'm winning.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you're ahead of me.
We need to compare.
Oh, for sure. I have an app that I use.
I do too. It's called
Bin.
Bin.
Did I give it
Shout
to
out
you?
to Bin. No.
Maybe you gave it to me. I'm not sure.
Maybe I gave it to you.
Yeah, potentially.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it says I've only explored like 14% of the world or something.
Hold on, let me see what mine says real quick.
I love it. It's a really nicely made app.
I've explored 20% of the world, 40 countries. What was my 40th country? Where did I go last? South Africa.
Finland? Oh, South Africa.
Yeah, South Africa. I've never been to Finland. You told me to go to Finland.
Go to
I got
Finland.
to go there. My high school basketball coach was on the Finnish national team. So.
Well, they were voted once again the happiest people in the world. So Santa's there.
Syringe just came back from the Northern Lights.
Where'd he go? I saw him in Iceland.
Finland.
Amazing.
He might have been in Finland. I know Unique Photo sent him up there. He was
Nice.
up there for like 2 weeks.
Have you seen Northern Lights?
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
only
you
thing on
saw
my
him
mom's
in
bucket list.
The
The only
Canada?
thing.
Where were you?
In Finland.
Oh, you were in Finland with her?
Yeah.
And those domes. I remember it's magical.
Magical.
It's you're watching the universe show you a show. It's insane.
It was one of those things where I was like, this is something that's going to look better in photos than it does in person. And I was so wrong.
Oh yeah, your photos can, unless you have like an amazing camera.
Yeah.
He was saying that you had like he had people because it was it was a trip for the store, so a bunch of people. There was like 25 people. It's kind of like an outsider trip.
Yeah.
And he said some lady showed up. She was a tiny like point and shoot camera.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna.
I managed to
that's not gonna
catch it a little bit with my iPhone. My iPhone was the only one that caught it for some reason, but and then I lightened up the image, and
Yeah.
you can see it. They're amazing. But That's actually what I do for fun. I think they say there's two things you can do with money that benefit you. I mean, really benefit you.
Yeah.
Education and travel.
Mm-hmm.
So you chose travel.
I definitely chose travel. But I was just like, Sam, I was like, I would go back to school at this point.
Well, I didn't realize this about you until we did this trip recently, and I find it amazing, and I loved
this. You know, no one's ever said this to me before, and I loved this compliment.
What
you're about to say.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I do have another friend who's like that.
Yeah.
You're so inquisitive. You want information, and that is an amazing trait to have, an important trait to have.
Yeah.
Anytime we talked about something like, oh, I'm not sure, you're Googling it and reading about it.
Let me find out.
People don't do that.
Google magic, my friend.
Yeah, but you're hungry for information. That's a great quality to have.
Instant information, though.
I mean, instant or what? You're getting you want it.
Yeah, I know very odd things now because of it.
Exactly. You were looking up and we found some really weird things.
Things.
Yeah, exactly. All right. All right. What motivates you to keep on pursuing, like keep on working, keep on pursuing your dreams, like real estate and all that? Is it purely, I don't think it's purely monetary, but.
I think it's nothing I do is monetary. What actually motivates me is experience. So it's not the money. I don't need an amount of money in my account. It's access to things that it's almost like I'm a collector of like experiences and like moments that other people haven't been able to see or like whatever it is.
100%. And I agree because I feel the same way about myself. Like some of the experiences that you and I can experience, stuff that sometimes you can't buy, right?
For sure.
And if you can buy it, you have to be a very, very wealthy, plugged person.
Right.
I can actually 100% confidently say I love the lifestyle I've created for myself, especially now with outsiders.
It's an addiction for sure.
Yeah.
It's like the next badass opportunity.
I agree, but also appreciating when I'm experiencing it.
Yeah.
You know, not just.
And I always like bringing people with me.
Yeah, I agree. It's not as much fun alone, for sure.
Usually.
For the most part, but being able to share a great experience with somebody and having that connection. I mean, you can go somewhere and experience something with somebody you don't know, and then obviously create a great friendship. So, all right. What advice would you give high school you, the 2 years that you went?
High school me.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say, again, everything happens the way it's supposed to, so I wouldn't change anything actually, but the curiosity in me would have told me to really look towards music and not shy away from it as much as I did. Because I think that could have become something much bigger than it became had I turned my cheek to like what was going on in my hometown.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like I didn't give it my full attention. I didn't give it my full all at all. So it would be nice to go down another path, even but Midnight Library vibes.
I agree. But your path that you chose allowed you to be an adolescent, a teen, or whatever.
100%.
So you actually took the steps.
I took the right choice.
Yeah.
I've definitely made the right choice. But my curiosity in that department, and also like literally today or yesterday, I would have loved going to college, not necessarily for
the education
or like what it would bring me career-wise, but for the connections and the people and the experiences.
It's funny. If I think about what I learned in school, the only thing that really stands out and I'm appreciative of having learned in college, I had some great classes, especially when you started being able to choose your own classes.
Right.
One of my favorite classes I accidentally fell into because there's no other choices. I had to fulfill a certain credit. It was Asians in America, and it was an amazing class. I'm also Asian.
Look at us.
So, but they also talked about the fact that Asians in the U.S. are just thought of as East Asians, and then where do we land? When I tell people I'm half Asian, like, no, you're not. I'm like, I'm Persian. Like, that's not Asia. Like, where is it? The Middle East. I'm like, what continent is that? Yeah. But again, the best skill I learned, I think, was my writing skills from journalism classes.
Okay.
And being able to communicate in that way was super helpful. Like, I do most of our copy all alone. I mean, sure, I get help from others because I feel like a second eye or third eye is beneficial, but being able to communicate is a skill that goes across industries. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, even professionally and personally.
Yeah. I would love to go back at this point. Yeah. Now, not for the experience, but for the education.
Well, as somebody who's 45 years old and just graduated college 2 years ago, you should go back to school.
I love that.
Yeah.
What did you go back for?
Computer science and photojournalism.
Amazing. I love that.
So
All
yeah,
right.
yeah,
My
you
inspiration.
You should go back to school.
Okay.
Yeah, and choose whatever you want.
Yeah. I loved being in a classroom.
And being so inquisitive, as I've realized from our
Mhm.
trip, like I think you would relish the experience.
I know I would,
Yeah.
for sure.
Maybe even like go to school for Spanish to start.
There we go.
You know?
I'll add it to my what do you even call it? Like your schedule in school.
It's not syllabus. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
You can become a UN translator.
There you go.
That's a great idea, Chris. Cue Jordyn 25 years later. I can finally answer that question.
In Spanish.
In Spanish.
All right. What's your favorite part of Outsiders?
That's tough.
I want to thank you too, because not only are you a huge part of the Outsiders because you're helping me launch LA and you're part of the team in LA and so on, but when we launched New York, those first few years, you were one of the people with a large following that was super vocal about how much fun you had and
It
sharing.
was so easy to do. It wasn't like I will not ever advertise something that I don't believe in. And so that was just, a no-brainer.
But from someone, I didn't know you at all at the time. From that perspective, when I told you about Outsiders, yeah, I'll come. I was like, oh, she's just coming because, she's doing a favor for Shu or for me or whatever.
Right.
But no, like the fact that you loved it and you were like raving about it after, I was like, oh, I assumed, which was a mistake, that you wouldn't be into the outdoors or biking or whatever.
Right.
But
But that's what's so great about Outsiders. And this is one of the things I love the most is you do not have to be this avid outsider to be a part of Outsiders. It's like, I was telling someone today that was asking about the Utah trip. She's like, can you tell me a little bit about it? And I was like, it's cool. It's like a really cool way to socialize. That's not a bar. That's not like nightlife.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel like this. It's still very balanced. Like it's a wholesome, beautiful way to experience people. But there's like an alcohol sponsor. Shout out Fat Tire.
Yeah.
There's like it's
And it's not a tour group.
you can turn it into the kind of trip you want to turn it into based on your own personality or like whoever you end up kind of linking up with on the trip.
And I love the last night, the night we spent in Page, right? In Page, Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
We all ended up in one of the rooms in hotel rooms just sharing stories about each other. Never have I ever and all that. And got to know really personal details about people.
For sure.
And for me, I was watching that. I was observing the room and I'm like, they feel so comfortable around each other.
Fully.
And I love that.
And even myself, like I think that was the pivotal moment for me on the trip when it went from I'm with a group of strangers to I'm now with a group of friends.
Exactly. And I sent a message to the group chat a couple of days afterwards, and I meant this 100% wholeheartedly, that I wished that I can go on, that the trip didn't end and I can get in the van and go somewhere else with them.
Yeah.
And that's typically how these trips go. When everyone leaves, it's a sad moment for me too.
For sure.
And I felt like I like everyone left. I'm like by myself again,
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate you. I didn't let you answer the question, I don't think.
I mean, that's one of my, there's so many reasons I love it. That's one of them is the fact that you leave with genuine connection. On this trip in particular, our Utah trip, like I don't think I ever would have planned a trip like that myself.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I appreciate that I was pushed to do things I wouldn't have necessarily done had I planned the trip.
What was your favorite part?
How far did I bike ride? Without an e-bike, I might add. 17, 18 miles?
It was 18 miles.
That was very hard, and I wanted to die.
Yeah, but you kept up with everybody.
I did. I
Javier,
killed it,
who
Chris.
can bike, was surprised at how well you did.
I killed it.
You did.
I was chafing. My legs, like the skin on the inside of my legs was burning
Was that
off.
your favorite? Was that your favorite part?
I think so.
And it's a
I enjoyed it
beautiful
because
ride.
it was social.
Yeah.
In the moments that we were being social, but I got to experience a lot of it just myself.
And the scenery is surreal.
Stunning.
And the fact that you can, like you said, have those moments you're social, but then there's moments where there's a strip where you're riding 10 minutes by yourself.
You're right.
And just looking around. And so for me, that's one of my favorite
It's
parts
gorgeous.
of it.
I love that you don't allow music on these things because I'm just hearing.
Well, on the bike rides we allowed it, but because you're on a bike, you don't necessarily have to ride next to somebody.
I
But
had no one with
no
music.
music on hikes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's about experiencing the sound sometimes or no sound.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the ATV. The ATV.
Oh yeah.
That was a blast.
That
doing
was
donuts.
really good.
What is a dream that you've yet to achieve? Do you have a dream that you've yet to achieve?
If I died tomorrow, being a mother. It's the only thing, like, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's all I want.
that's a good answer.
I'm like meant for it, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I was having a conversation with someone last night about that. And I realized, like, I definitely want to have kids for sure.
Yeah. We're not spring chickens anymore, Jay.
Speak for yourself.
Can we zoom in on the gradient hair he's got going on?
Anyway, is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to share with everyone? Nothing at all?
Please head to joinoutsiders.com and no.
All right, so in that case, it's time for 5 rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite?
Is this like
Yeah.
one word answer, guys?
No. It's just first thing off the top of your
Oh my
head.
God, I'm so bad at this. Okay, suddenly I'm not going to be able to think of a single thing. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
I'm
What's
ready.
your favorite city other than New York City?
Mexico City, actually.
Great city. We
wonderful
were there
city.
for outsiders, and I love how lush it is.
The
with vegetation,
food is
the
incredible. The architecture is
culture.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, Mexico City.
I
easily.
want actually Georgia, Javier, and I and Max talking about going back. So we all hung out there
Yeah.
when we went. So maybe we'll add you to the trip. Let's
Please
do
do.
it. All right. If you could do any other profession, what would you do?
Any other profession,
Mm-hmm. It could be anything.
what would I do? I'm sorry, I'm not too rapidy, but I think it'd be really cool. This is so random, and I've never said this to anyone. I'm making this up. I think I'd like to be a pilot,
That is pretty cool.
and then I get to travel wherever I wanted to go,
You can still do that.
but for free.
No, you're paying for gas.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
It's your own flight, right? Your own plane?
No, I'm like, I work for like Delta.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you get
I'm a
paid
commercial
or
pilot.
She would get paid.
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
paid to fly
Nice.
wherever I want. I'd be pinning all the kids with their first flight pins, their wings.
Oh, that's right. Did they do that?
They better.
I think some airlines. still
I
do.
would.
Okay. I got another part of that question.
Okay.
I'm adding this for you.
All right.
If you were to get a new record deal right now, what kind of music would you want to make?
The music that I listen
It definitely
to.
wouldn't be dance hall because she doesn't know who Vibes
I
Cartel
would
is.
really like to go over my main influence, Beanie Man. That's the type of music I'd like to do. No, I think like when I'm alone listening to music, like even when I'm on a run or like working out, I listen to like pretty sad music or like emotional music, I should say, not necessarily
You had a
sad.
great playlist on the rides.
Thank you. I had got lots of compliments on it from the gals. So just like vibey,
Emotionally charged,
yeah.
but on more of a. I mean, your hit song apparently was about a breakup, strong. So,
Yeah, but it was too poppy. Like this would be
Right,
like sexier, loungier.
can you compare it to an artist that it was like Fiona Apple style or what?
No, I have no idea. I don't know.
You know? Okay.
No.
Thank you for answering that.
Yes.
What's your
Rapid
vice?
fire. My vice?
Yeah.
Tequila. Mezcal currently.
Really?
Oh my God.
Okay. That seems to be the trend anyway.
Damn it. Who else stole that?
Javier. You know Javier. You guys had
Oh, yeah.
mezcal together.
That's true.
What's your greatest fear?
Losing the people around me that I love.
Like dying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like to the point where like I've woken up in the middle of the night just like,
Yeah, I've had those.
are they good? Are they here? Are they fine? Yeah, we discussed it. My first boyfriend passed in a car accident. So it's like, I think definitely stems from that. Of just like out of nowhere loss.
Is this the boyfriend that you had while you were in the music
Mm-hmm.
business?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll definitely do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite food and what did you bring today?
My favorite food changes every single day. Today, my favorite food is, wow, Chris. Empanada Mama.
Empanada Mama.
We're some empanadas. You can't eat this. Do they know why you can't eat any of this?
I'm gluten, dairy, and sugar-free as of August of 2022.
Which we like to say is
No fun.
fun-free.
Fun-free, exactly. Gluten, dairy. No, I
Fun-free.
say gluten, dairy, sugar, and fun-free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I give you so many props because you stuck to that shit on the trip.
Absolutely. The only time I'm going to cheat on it is in Sardinia, but obviously the food is coming from a farm down the road. So I feel like it's acceptable.
No.
Oh, so isn't like most like breads and stuff made different over in
Yes, correct. I'm put it this way. I'm
They
still
make
not
a
going to
lot
be eating
better.
sugar,
Yeah.
but I'll eat the dairy and the bread.
All right. So I got 2 choices here. These have been sitting for a nice couple hours.
Nice cold empanadas. Who
But-
wants that chewy cheese?
Wait, I'm going to smell them to determine which is.
Can you smell and tell what it is? Is one sweet?
Well, I know what they are, but which one I want to eat.
Well, what are they?
This
Tell
one's
them.
Bombay, so this one's like the curry
Oh, nice.
Where
chicken,
the
I
hell you
think.
get a curry empanada?
And
Empanada
Banana Mama,
Mama.
they have all.
Chris, have you been to Empanada Mama?
No, I don't go to.
It's
Chili's.
like-
What are you
it's-
doing tonight, Chris? Let's
I
go.
don't go to Empanada Mama. I go across the street to the bakery. They actually sell empanadas.
He actually gets like not
Not late night drunk.
No,
empanada.
like he gets
Technically,
authentic
they-
empanadas.
Yeah, they would be technically what-
Chicken was authentic is beef, chicken, cheese,
And
and
guava and cheese.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this has like wild empanadas. They're like, come on over. We have pineapple pizza
Yeah,
empanadas.
they have all kinds of
That's
stuff.
not an empanada.
We have. It's
You're talking
That's,
to.
that's insulting.
it's fun times. I know. I'm so sorry, but
It's the gentrified version of an empanada.
yeah,
Yeah. So which
It's
ones you got?
fantastic.
You got.
this is the Brazil.
Oh, that's a
it's-
really good one.
You remember?
Yeah.
Do you want me to describe it in great detail? Is this like what is it, ASMR?
Oh, you want to do
Do you
that?
want- do you wanna
Like,
turn
slightly- So.
Okay, so I like to take both the sauces.
Why is this your favorite? Why is this one of your favorite dishes? And what is your favorite cuisine if you had to choose a cuisine?
I think pasta is my favorite.
That's been a
Like-
common answer, but it's like a super comfort food.
Yeah, and it's like you can get so many different types of pastas. Like if I had to be like, oh, I want pasta every day for the rest of my life, there's so many.
What's the one that stands out in your mind right now?
Spicy penne,
Mm.
the carbone.
Arrabbiata, whatever it's called. That one. You know
Yeah.
what? You know what I used to love, and they changed the recipe. Now it's kind of not the best. The cacio pepe at Soho House used to be the bomb.
Never tried it.
It used to be great. You missed out because they don't make it great anymore.
I will say, and I hope no one from Soho House ever sees this. Their food is trash.
Now it is. Well, it depends on which house you go to. Ludlow House has good food.
Dumbo House is okay.
Dumbo House is terrible food.
I don't know if I've ever had the food at Little House. Can I move this?
Yeah.
Mm.
Ludlow House is better food than meatpacking and so on. Dumbo is terrible. They used to have a lunch special that was $10 during the pandemic. And it was a huge platter, amazing stuff.
This is good cold.
Yeah, it's like cold pizza. So good. Anyway, we don't have to watch you eat the whole rest of that. I want
You
to.
don't want to?
I mean, we can.
just
I'm
kidding.
sure we'll get different kinds of
No,
viewers
go ahead
for
and
that.
thank me. Thank me.
That's where Jeremy takes that part of footage. He has an OnlyFans account for.
Yeah,
people who eat
I'm
food,
making
so-
money off you guys
Yeah.
eating that way.
I didn't sign for this.
Yeah. Don't worry.
No
You'll
worry,
never
I'll
know.
blur your face. We'll put like a big.
People come up to you like, you're the girl that eats the empanadas. What?
Yo, if you gave me a cut of that though, I'd be down.
Oh, OnlyFans. Yeah, this was a good one. I like this interview.
There you go.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming here. I appreciate you for coming on the trip,
Of course.
getting to know you, how inquisitive you are,
Thank you.
and being a good friend.
I love you so much.
Love you too. And that's a wrap.
Oh.
Oh, you want to say anything else?
No, I just wish we had like a secret handshake or something, but it's fine.
Yeah, you
Next
can
time.
say joinoutsiders.com and go to that.
No, I would never say that.
Okay, well, go visit joinoutsiders.com. Jordyn Taylor now on Instagram, right?
Jordyn Taylor now.
Jordyn Taylor now.
Thanks,
All
Jay.
right. Thank you.